Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Buck Stops Here. I am Catherine Murray. We have a lot to discuss today, and I'm so thrilled to bring in Harris Fricker, who's the president of Stifel Canada, to join me in this discussion with a number of very important topics. Harris, great to be with you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Catherine. Great to be here.
Thank you. Let's start with what's so top of mind for so many Canadians, but also Americans as well, which is tariffs and what we believe will actually happen and how that's impacting perhaps already the Canadian economy because our dollar continues to decline. How are you looking at this potential impact?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we need to do is just take a deep breath. And um, when you look at the fundamentals of the Canada-US relationship, it really spells out a pretty logical path. And we are a vital provider of products to the United States. If you look at 2023, about 275 billion USD of exports to the US. About 70% of that was commodities, with oil obviously at about 120 billion USD being the lead product. So the point is that if you look at the trade deficit that's been mentioned, it's really all about hydrocarbons, because if you remove oil shipments to the United States, then the US actually runs a trade surplus with Canada. If you look at merchandise goods, we're one of the few countries where the US runs a major trade surplus. You then look at the
Mm-hmm.
materials we're talking about on the mining side. It's, germanium, zinc, copper, aluminum, a whole bunch of other esoteric metals that are vital to US industry. And if you look at the energy
Mm-hmm.
side, we're providing roughly 4.2 million barrels a day into the United States. The US consumption is around 21 million barrels a day. Their production is around 13. So that gap is critical to fill, and Canada is the optimal player to fill it. So instead of less, I actually think the US is looking for more energy exports into the United States. Howard Lutnick was on yesterday in testimony. He's the incoming Commerce Secretary under Trump. And he mentioned that if Canada were to secure its border, he mentioned fentanyl, then the tariff issue would dissipate. And if you look at fentanyl,
Mm-hmm.
the statistics are pretty telling. Coming north through the Mexican-U.S. border, it's about 22,000 pounds. And last year, the best estimates are about 40 pounds of fentanyl made its way into the United States through Canada. So very easily addressed. The other issues that have
Mm-hmm.
been raised, of course, are we've got the world's second largest landmass, and we need to project sovereignty into the north, given global warming, climate change, and the appearance of other international players in those waters. That's the focus
Mm-hmm.
on Greenland as well. So, there's a very large logical pathway forward that I think as we get into the nitty gritty of negotiations, provided Canada's able to secure the border, project sovereignty into the north, pay its fair share on NATO, and
Mm-hmm.
probably provide more raw material exports to the United States, I think we'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree, and I don't want to say they're simple fixes, but they're things that we should be doing. We should be protecting our borders. We should be protecting Canadian citizens. If anyone's aware, we have a lot of crime that's happening here in Canada by people who are illegal immigrants coming in. And they come in and then they leave. They come in, they do their crimes for 2 weeks. They get paid X number of dollars per car, and then they hop on a plane and they get right back out. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of homework internally that we need to do. Let me just ask you though, the fact that the Bank of Canada lowered rates once again, was that necessary?
Well, when you look at the bank, they've been pretty consistent in saying that they were on a trajectory to lower. Yesterday, they went 25 beeps down to 3% on the overnight rate. But what you really have to look at there is what's been happening with the dollar as U.S. yields post-Trump have actually moved up as
Mm-hmm.
people agonize over what tariffs will mean in that economy. So you have to
Right.
really
We'll
look
take it.
at U.S. yields.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.